Just following the recipe.
Today we're sitting down with Barry Jordan of Jordan Golf Design. He's going to spend some time with us and walk us through phase 2 of the bunker project and what we should expect for the upcoming months as our courses continues to be restored back to Donald Ross's original vision.
Thank you. We're going to start by talking about the second hole in the cross bunker, of what has been referred to as a cross bunker that's going in there, which actually doesn't cross the whole fairway. There's going to be 20 yards of fairway to the right of this new bunker that's on hole number 2. It sits about 35 yards in front of the 2 bunkers that we built last season. And so golfers will have an opportunity to actually land a ball between the 2 bunkers we built last season and this new bunker that we're building. We're also going to expand the fairway on the green side of the creek on the left-hand side. You see last season we expanded the fairway to the right over the creek, and this year we're going to be expanding it to the left over the creek, and that's going to tie those 2 sides together. The next hole we're going to work on is the 4th hole, and you're going to see a very significant change to the 4th hole going back to the original Ross drawings. We're going to be working about 100 yards out from the green. All the work will be done 100 yards in. And there's going to be a series of bunkers, 6 bunkers that are coupled 2 each together. 2 couples on the right side of the fairway and another couple on the left side of the fairway. So I don't think too many golfers are going to get to those bunkers on the drive, but you're going to notice them in your foreground as you attempt to hit your approach shot. Up at the green on 4, we're going to be filling in the bunkers, and we're going to be putting in 2 fairly pronounced mounds that are about 4 feet high on the side of the bunkers. We have those notes from Ross, and we have some pretty good drawings showing the 4th hole, old aerials. So that's what we're going to be working with to establish the new bunkers on 4. The 5th hole, we're going to be replacing the fairway bunkers on the right-hand side. You're not going to see a real dramatic change in the hole there because the bunkers are in the same location. They're oriented roughly the same way. Those bunkers are 2 of the bunkers that are more of the authentic Ross bunkers that still exist at the course. So they're going to be cleaned up, resodded. They're going to look like all the other bunkers, but it's just not going to be the dramatic improvement that you're going to see, such as you saw on the 8th hole or what you're going to see on the 4th hole in this coming year. On the 6th hole, there's 1 additional bunker we're going to be adding on the left side of the fairway. It's going to sit just 5 or 10 yards behind the bunker that we built last season. It's going to be visible, so you're going to see sort of a layering effect of the bunkers, and it's going to catch players that hit a little bit longer ball on that left side. And so that's going to be the last bunker that we will address on the front side for this next coming project. Now we're going to go to the back side, and the first hole we're going to work on there is up by the 11th green. And we're going to fill the bunker that's right in front of the 11th green, and we're going to restore the bunker that's on the left side of the green. And that bunker that's on the left side is also one of the more authentic Ross bunkers that still exists on the course. So again, we're going to be cleaning it up, slightly reshaping it, but it's going to stay pretty much in the same position and look similar to what it is now. In front of the green itself, we've heard from several members that before the pond went in, there was more of a terrace that kind of went up into the green. And we're going to try and restore that if we can, get that slope that kind of climbs up into the green and sort of deaden shots that hit that area. A lot of the members thought that was a nice, subtle, and an important part of that approach to the green. And so we're going to try and reestablish that while we're working on those 2 bunkers. On the par 3 12th, you're not going to notice too much of a difference here, but the bunker we're going to rebuild in front of the green, we're going to shift it just a hair to the right, and we're going to try and expand a pocket of the green that is in that front right corner. So we're going to be working with Chris to get that section of the green carved out so we can use it as a pin location, and we're going to set that bunker in to the right side, again, just a hair off to the right from where it sits now. And we're also going to create a little runoff on the back right. That's more of a grassing and mowing pattern. Now, there's no bunkers back there, but it will just be a fall off to the right, similar to what we did on the left side on the 3rd hole. Then we're going to move to the 13th hole, and you are going to see dramatic bunkering on that hole. This is a classic cross bunker. Now Ross had the angle slightly different. On his drawings, he was coming into it more from the left-hand side, but they reconfigured that area there, so it's slightly different, and it doesn't really run square to the green, to the fairway. It runs slightly on an angle. And if you think of the 3 bunkers on the right side now that are existing, we're going to fill those bunkers in, and this cross bunker, and there's actually a major cross bunker, and then there's a little additional bunker on the left, is pretty much going to run right across the fairway there. But it'll be running on an angle sort of away from the player, cut into the existing slope that's there. And that's going to be a dramatic improvement to the site of that drive when you're going to drive on that hole. Most of the players will not get to that bunker, so they're going to be dealing with it on their second shot. But that will be visually a very stunning bunker once we're finished with it. On 16, we are going to be doing the 2 bunkers that are left to do in the fairway. We've done 2 bunkers up by the green in the last phase. We did the first bunker in the first phase that you reach, and then these are sort of bunkers that sit in between shots on 16, and there's going to be, we're flipping what was originally drawn. What I originally drew was a more of a narrow bunker on one side and a wider bunker on the other, and because of the infrastructure that we have on site with irrigation, we're just going to flip those, and we're going to have a longer wide bunker on the right side and a smaller, shallower, I'm calling it a spoon bunker, on the left side, relatively in the same location, although the bunker that's on the right side is now going to creep into the fairway further to the left than it does now. And then the final hole that we're going to be working on is 18, where we're going to be restoring the 2 bunkers that are up by the green. That green was changed very early on. I would say it was the 1930s, where they changed the shape of the green, and so some of the bunkering got reconfigured there. The bunker in the back right is not original. We're going to be filling that in, and we're going to be opening up the bunker a little bit on the left side, so it opens up the mouth of the green a little bit. And on the right side, the bunker is going to be closer to the green than it is right now. Ross had those bunkers labeled as being about 4 feet deep. I think the one on the right side is going to end up being closer to 5 feet. It's much deeper than that now, so they're both going to be raised a little bit, and the bunker on the left is going to be roughly 4 feet deep. But again, you're going to open it up a little bit, the mouth of the green. Now we are going to set into the bank 3 pot bunkers that will be roughly 3 feet deep, and they're about 30 yards from the front of the green, and they'll be cut into the bank. So we're not going to be bringing fill in to do it. They're going to be cut into the bank. And right over those bunkers, we're going to expand the little lip of the fairway. So the fairway is actually going to be wider and run into the green on a straighter line than it currently does. Right now, it's just a very narrow strip, and we're going to widen that and bring it all the way out to the existing bunkers. So that's a quick review of what we're going to be doing out there in this phase. You're also going to see that we're going to be trying to tie in our grassing lines. You probably noticed last summer that after we put the bunkers in, we went back and we tried to tie in the fairways, and we were expanding the fairways out to the original Ross dimensions. Now that takes some time, and you'll see some scars because we're trying to take that grass down little by little, but it does take some time. So you're going to see some new mowing lines that are going to tie this all together. You've seen it on the 15th hole. It's very pronounced how we changed those grassing lines. And you're going to see a little bit of that everywhere, but you'll see it pretty dramatically, I think, on the 4th hole, and obviously the changes going across 13. So that's a quick wrap up of what we plan on doing this summer. One of the questions I get frequently asked is about sequencing and what holes are we going to attack first, and this is common with all the projects that we work on. As far as who gets to decide that, the contractor is in charge of what he goes after first. And usually what they want to do is they want to attack the lower wet areas first if it's dry when they arrive. So if number 4 is really dry when they arrive, they'll probably start on number 4 and go after that. Or maybe they'll go to another low area that's typically wet, 11 or 12, and do those, and then save. If we get a lot of rain and it gets wet out there, then they'll be able to go to some of the higher areas and do those. So we don't really have a planned sequence, but it always is weather related, moisture related. On this golf course, we have a lot of different soils types. We have a loamy soil up on number 1. We have clay soils down in the flat areas in 5 and 6. So some dry out a lot quicker than others. So we're just going to have to see what happens when they get here weather-wise, and that's going to dictate where they start first and how they sequence their construction.